So I have a story time update. 2 weeks ago, I made a video. It was a story time where a woman was becoming successful and then her husband basically sabotaged her. And I titled it, When You're Sleeping with the Opps, Your Husband. So this happened 2 weeks ago. The comments started flooding through, but the woman of the story time hit me up for an update. So for my TikTok followers, TikTok didn't actually publish the video. So you would have to come over to YouTube. And on YouTube, I will make sure to embed the entire link in the description. But she was talking about when things started to fall apart. She said, things started to fall apart this year when my career took off. I took a pay cut last year to take a position with a company with greater opportunities. That move paid off. I was promoted twice and ended up doubling my salary. At first, he acted supportive, but over the past few months, it's like he resents me. And then we get to this part. There's a whole lot more, but I don't want to make this too long before I get to the important part. We found out in early November that I'm pregnant. He showed his entire black butt, accused me of things I couldn't believe. I feel I was robbed of what could have been positive memories of the day I found out I was pregnant with this child, and I'll never be able to get that day back or redo it. Okay, so I posted this. She was upset. Her husband is upset at her successes. She's pregnant and she can't even enjoy the pregnancy because he is showing out. So I posted this whole thing, her whole story time, to my YouTube page. Now, at first, I was just thinking, he is just jealous. He's just, he can't deal with his woman's success. But the people in my comment section thought something else. This woman says, this was definitely a baby trap. I've heard stories where women were about to get promoted, got nominated for an award, got a raise, just about to graduate from college, or just got accepted, and all of a sudden this man wants a baby. Him getting her pregnant, accusing her of cheating, and then abandoning her and the child was a plot to derail her. I hope she and her child gets through this safely. I hadn't even thought about the whole baby trap thing when I had done the story. This person says, textbook narc abuse, the projection, devaluation, then the future faking, and ultimate baby trapping. This is a result of his pure jealousy of her. Narcs always compete with a partner where no competition should exist. A tragedy. Hope she escapes the burden of dealing with him in child custody. He so intended to slow her down and drain her resources both emotionally and financially. Having a newborn at this age will impact her career, physical recovery time, etc. Now she'll do it with no partner. Those small-hearted men are diabolical, but they won't compete on the world stage with other men with the same energy. Heartbroken for this woman and her children. This person says, he never wanted that baby. He wanted to sabotage you. I wish they could go to jail or do something for this stuff. Somebody else, he never wanted that baby to raise and love and father. He wanted it to saddle her down and make her struggle, to dim her light, to put her back where she was before her career started to take off. Now he wants out because mission accomplished. Now, this woman says, I swear I wish more women just terminated these pregnancies once men show their true colors. She fell for his trap. Things like this proves that these men don't love y'all and never did. Now, this person was not the only one that suggested that she just go handle it, you know. So after I posted her video, I sent her the link. She told me that she watched all of the video. She read through all of the comments. I did have to come back and, after I posted that, to check on her to see how she was doing. She did not respond until yesterday. She says, thank you for checking in on me. I watched the video and read every single comment and will likely watch it a few more times just to keep myself on track with where I want to go next with life. At my first ultrasound appointment last week, there was no heartbeat and measurements were 3 weeks behind where they should have been. That day, I started bleeding and haven't stopped. I don't know what I'm feeling, but I'm okay. I spent the weekend coming to terms with that reality, and I've been back to my regularly scheduled program at work. My child's father agreed that he would give up his Christmas visitation and take it in January, so I can keep my child with me for this holiday, which I'm grateful for. No changes in terms of where my marriage is. So she's speaking about where things were and how they are still basically there. They are separated. She says and this is what she said 2 weeks ago. She said, this past weekend, we decided to separate. He slept on the couch for a few days. Then we agreed that he'd move out. His things are still here, but he is not. He asked about a divorce, and right now I just don't have the mental energy to fill out the paperwork. And with me being pregnant, I don't think they'll finalize it anyway until the baby is here. I'll figure it out in the new year. She's like, I don't know what to feel. Once my career started to take off, I abandoned thoughts of more children. So she wasn't even thinking about children. And now she's seemingly lost the baby. That's what she implied with her language in that last text message. I'm sorry, that last inbox message. But now she has success popping off in her job, but she's lost her husband. And this just goes to show you that, women being successful and then having someone want to dim your light, how diabolical it can be. If you listen to the tone in that message, it just sounds so dejected. Something that should have been happy and celebratory, like success and accomplishments, gets a wet towel thrown on it, water on your fire. And that's just what I'm seeing these days with some of these story times that women share with me. So I just wanted to give you all this update. If you want the whole full story, it'll be on my YouTube page in the description of this video. For about 9 months, we had back-to-back miscarriages and a chemical pregnancy. So one of my TikTok followers said that this one that I did, this Reddit thread that I did, actually had an update. Now, this one is on both my TikTok page and my YouTube page, but just as a refresher, this woman already had kids from a previous marriage. She was married to her current husband, and she wasn't planning on having kids, but he wanted to. She's like, all right, bet. And then she tried. They tried for about a year. They had all kind of issues. She had miscarriages and all of that. And then after her body finally accepted the baby, she went through it, but she had all kind of health issues. And so she took to Reddit to ask for validation for feeling some kind of way because her husband was basically resentful that she wasn't able to fulfill the rest of her marital duty like a wife, like serving him, because her body was recovering from a baby. So let's look at some of the edits. If you have not seen this thread, just click into my TikTok, or if you're on YouTube, I will embed the whole video in the description. So what I say about these women that go to Reddit to ask if they're the a-hole, they're basically looking for validation. This dude invalidated her. She was like, dude, I sit up here, spent all this time trying to recover. I wanted to have this baby for you, and now you're resentful. She's like, am I wrong for invalidating his feelings and taking it that far? He's always shown me he cares, which is why this caught me off guard. Am I wrong for withdrawing because of how he felt behind his action? And then Reddit came through. Okay, so she's like, edit. These comments have inspired me to invite him to explain his perspective and where he feels unhappy in the marriage. Because I'm emotionally checked out, it was very easy to give space for this. I'm going to include them here so any further input can be given with this in mind. Number one, we met through work and work in the same industry. His company merged with mine, and his brand became widely known as our brand. When I was unable to continue to run my company, he didn't know what to do with his brand. So he feels it died out because my brand was not doing much. My brand was not doing much, which during this time, my protege was running the festivals, nearly a dozen tours. Okay, I'm not going to read all this. It just sounds like he was unhappy with work. That's number one. Number two, because he was so hardworking, he feels that most women who have hardworking men have a certain level of respect that prevents them from addressing certain things in a certain tone. Number three, I did not keep the house clean. Number four, he feels that I've been recovered since the surgical recovery and things should have changed then. Number five, I no longer went to events, local tour stops, concerts, industry events, and award shows with him. He noted that he understood this through my pregnancy, but he does not understand why I won't now. Personally, I could shift my perspective here. Ultimately, I don't like the people in our field where we currently live, and I'm not happy being around them. For For the vast majority, though, I wasn't well enough to do so either. Edit number 2. It's a crazy thing to feel loved by Reddit strangers. It's even crazier when you realize a group of strangers made you feel more seen and validated and appreciated than your spouse. We talked further, and I'm confident this is headed for divorce. There are issues that can be worked through, and there are core fundamental differences. This is the latter. I left certain things out because I didn't want everyone to hate him immediately, but just know this gave me the confidence and self-assurance I needed and honestly was not looking for. I feel validated, seen, and appreciated for carrying a child none of you will ever know. What I have realized is I need to change my focus with my therapist to my own sense of self-assurance and how I'm going to navigate separation. After admitting this post to him and sharing some responses, we have come up with a very amicable plan, and we're going to learn to develop a friendship and parenting partnership. This is certainly the end, though. Ultimately, I left emotionally before I ever typed this. And thanks to many of you, I understand that it's okay that I did. I love and appreciate you all. This restored my faith in internet kindness. Now, when I first start talking, I say women get on these threads asking for validation. And certainly she did. And I say that repeatedly. That's certainly what they seem to be doing. But what I am also seeing, do you see how you see how dejected she was? She's so incredibly sad that she had a baby. Her body went through so many things for this man, and he just didn't appreciate her. And you could hear how disappointed she is in this edit. And that's why I want us to get to the point. This is why I keep talking about this, where we do not completely lose ourselves in our relationships. Yes, I realize that relationships, you are now commingling yourself with another person. But when you completely become one, like some people want to do, when you decouple, you have to like really stitch together bits and pieces of your life and your heart and your mind and all of that. Whereas if you are able to put your life in a healthy balance where you're not giving more of yourself mentally, physically, emotionally, financially, then you're able to handle, in balance. Then it's not so hard to pick up the pieces when it's time to move on. So I took out a few of the comments from the original post. So this person says, Story 2 sacrificed her health and bodily integrity for months to give this man a child, went through traumatic birth, surgery, and recovery, and he doesn't think that's anything tangible. Her health and sacrifice weren't tangible. Whole man disposal needs an emergency division. Jesus. Absolutely. This person says, she experienced all that pain and suffering because of his defective, incompatible sperm. It shows in how he wanted her to risk her health to schedule a C-section earlier than the set date and being unsupportive in her grief and pain. Women, we need to continue to build women's spaces and mommunes, physical and virtual, so that women and their children can grow up in healthy environments. That's what I hope my spaces are. A virtual space where we can support each other and make sure that, women feel seen and can express these things that they're going through so they'll know that they're not alone. Anyways, jump in the comments. Let me know what you think about this update. Don't forget to like, comment, and share.